All right, we are back at it. Your friendly neighborhood consciousness activist here. We got another rabbit hole to jump down here. And as you know, this UFO, UAP topic and the consciousness topic seem to be really interlinked, really intertwined here, right? And that being said, the Skywatcher team, which is Jake Barber's group, the guy who released the egg video, the UAP egg, UFO egg on News Nation, his team, the Skywatcher group, has released their second video on YT. You can find it at Skywatcher's HQ, and they've released some pretty interesting and pretty compelling images and video. I'm going to show you some of the images here, as well as the 9 classifications for UFO UAP they have put out. So, here are the 9 classifications that they give, accompanied with some images. Class 1, the Tetra. The craft appears to have a black body and seems to spin or tumble through the air. It appears to flash or pulse multiple times per second, and appears to have a sort of cloud or vapor around it. And it has been seen in groups of around 20 flying in formation. Class 2, the Tic Tac, seen in groups of 2 or 3, and it's usually seen in groups. We know the Tic Tac from one of the videos that we've gotten, the famous Tic Tac video that was released by the Pentagon a few years ago, right? Class 3, Blob, a vibrating, I just like the name Blob, a vibrating, pulsing cloud, perhaps with a cylinder in the middle that produces light like a flame, pulsing and vibrating as it moves. Now, that's an interesting one. We've heard of some pilots, some, US military pilots who have described seeing kind of a sphere with a cube in the middle. Maybe that could perhaps be this blob that has maybe a pulsing cylinder in the middle that produces some kind of light like a flame, and it pulses and vibrates as it moves. They might seem a little different, especially if you think about the artist renderings that we've gotten of the sphere with the cube in the middle. It's pretty obviously a sphere with a black cube in the middle, but perhaps this is one of those kinds of crafts, or a different type of those kinds of crafts, with this kind of blob that has perhaps a cylinder in the middle that gives off some kind of light. Class 4, Beam. Now they call it the beam, but then they'd also describe this as being like the kind of orbs that people see. The orb has only been seen in infrared, but that kind of contradicts some things because people claim to have actually seen the orbs with their naked eye. And it seems to only come at certain times, and perhaps comes with the Class 1, the Tetra, but there's not enough data yet. Class 5, the Manta Ray. It seems to rotate and tumble as it moves. Class 6, Bright Star, very fastly vibrating, looks like a crystal. Class 7, the Jellyfish, about 2 meters across, it's either purple or black or chrome with tentacles. Class 8, the Hornet, looks very similar to the Jellyfish, maybe a jellyfish carrying something, and it's bigger than the Jellyfish. Now the Hornet, to me, based on the little graphic that they made, kind of looks like the craft that Jason Sands describes in his encounter. And then finally, Class 9, the Egg, which is what Jake Barber dropped on News Nation. Very limited data, still an emerging class. So to me, obviously, let's just go through the shapes real quick. The Tetra looks like the triangle or maybe pyramid-shaped craft that people have described seeing, including US military. The Tic Tac looks like the Tic Tac or cigar-shaped UFOs that people have seen, including the US military. The blob, to me, like it could be the sphere with the black cube in the middle. They describe maybe a cylinder in the middle or something that is shining, something giving off light in the middle like a flame. So again, the blob, things that people have reported seeing, and if we're talking about the sphere with the black cube in the middle, things that the US military has seen. The beam, orbs, they say that they've only seen it under infrared light, but obviously there are a lot of people that have seen orbs. Maybe they are confusing it with the blob, though. If it's truly only visible in infrared light, maybe people are confusing orbs and blobs, beams and blobs in their terminology. The Manta Ray, looks like the thing that you would think of when you think of the Phoenix Lights sighting, right? The big boomerang-shaped craft, right? The bright star seems to be like a shining crystal in the sky that also appears to have, in their little illustration at least, some kind of, I don't know, force field, some kind of something surrounding it. The jellyfish. Now they go out of their way in their video on YT to dismiss the fact that this is the same jellyfish that was released when the US military released that image of a UAP jellyfish somewhere in Iraq, maybe Afghanistan. I'm pretty sure it was Iraq though. It was Iraq. So they go out of their way to say that it was not the same jellyfish that was videotaped in Iraq, but again, it does seem very similar. We're gonna have to take their word on it that it's not the same, that they don't really say, you know, what makes it different than that one, but they just say that it wasn't that one, or it's not the same type of craft as that was released by the US military, the one from Iraq. But who knows, it does look very similar. The Hornet, to me, like I said, looks to be like the craft that Jason Sands described in his encounter, but they kind of describe it more as looking like a jellyfish carrying something. And then the egg itself, obviously, is the thing that Jake Barber released when he had his interview on News Nation. Pretty interesting times that we're living in, pretty crazy times. There's going to be more of these videos coming out from this group, from the Skywatchers HQ on YT, and they're on other socials as well. And we have 9 classifications of UAP, UFO from this group to go through. Seems pretty insane. Check out their videos if you want to learn more, and we're definitely going to keep tabs on it as well.